Browns, when you come to DC, look, you're from here, so you got to really focus. But come to find out, that's just talk that they give you because they want you to come in as a priority free agent.
Right.
They try to, woo you a little bit and then pretend like, oh, we tried to take you, but somebody else came, but it was just talk.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh.
And so he doesn't get drafted. Are you like, well, we're going to have to find another career?
I just never even considered it. I don't know.
Well, you have to. It's two lives. It's one, I'm dating or marrying or having a life with a professional athlete, and one is it's two sort of different paths.
Maria,
I know
you
you
ain't
were
had no
good.
clue?
I always had his back, but I never knew anyone. I think it's probably just me. I never knew anyone who made it to that level,
She
and I
just was
didn't
like,
even
this dude ain't
consider
going
it.
to the league.
But once it happened, it was like, wow. But I just never. I never considered it. It's just like
so fast forward a little. It happens. He's in the NFL.
Yeah.
You're not married yet.
No, we got married 8 months after we
So you got married while you were in college.
While we were in college, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so then you're married to most of those guys are not married at that age, right?
No.
Correct. No. So you are dealing with the girlfriends, the wags, the wives and girlfriends, the whole scene.
Wives, girlfriends,
right?
the
And so you're
strippers,
like
side chicks, the
exactly.
mistresses. I'm
What
dealing
is
with them
that
all.
scene like to be the
It
wife?
was, for me,
Because it's not as bad as the NBA.
I hear. That's what I hear.
And the Major League Baseball, they have so many games that they're always around. Football's a little different.
Yeah.
So you come into Cleveland where you must know some people because you're from close
it's
by.
like being thrown into a Shark Tank. 'Cause I didn't know. And I think one time someone had made fun of, I heard from another wife, someone had made fun of the way I dress. She had said all that money he got and she don't know how to dress. And at this point, I had my daughter. I'm coming to the game. I didn't know wearing your jersey was kind of like not cool to wear your husband's
She was
jersey.
still being a fan.
I was not a fan.
Wearing
I was just,
Miss Cribs jersey on the back
yeah,
and
I had
being
my
what
Uggs
she
on.
yeah.
I guess you're supposed to wear heels to the game.
Yeah.
I had my Victoria's Secret sweatpants on, and I didn't realize and I think that was like a slap in the face for me because it was like, I think I look cute, but okay. And so I started like hanging around these girls. They were coming in from like, one came from the Jets and one husband came from like Seattle, and they were real ritzy and glitzy. And I'm like, well, they look cute. Let me start stepping my game up too. But
So
it's
then
honestly,
she changed drastically. High heels.
no.
She became the wife.
After like year
Jewelry.
six?
I was like, what is
After year 6.
After the
Did
game,
she say,
I'm like,
I need to buy a new outfit for the game?
Yes.
Nope. She didn't say that. She just did it.
I did. I ain't had to say. I ain't asking nobody, Brian. I ain't asking nobody to know.
I was like, who is this?
But it was just like a culture shock. It was like it's nothing I could have ever prepared for. I just didn't think, first of all, didn't think it was going to happen. Then when it did happen, I'm like, wow, it's kind of like we just get whooshed into this whirlwind in a life that I've never, ever been exposed to. And, how do you prepare for that? Being around people with millions of dollars and our car. We driving a Grand Dam, everybody driving in Bentleys and Lamborghinis,
And the Browns are the thing in this town.
Yeah,
like,
they
say what you
are.
want about the Cavs and LeBron and the artists formerly known as the Indians.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the Browns are such part of the fabric of the community
Right.
that I'm married to a Brown goes a long way.
And I have to share him with that community.
You do. Not only the community and the women here want to marry a Brown.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. Or date a Brown.
And date a Brown. And I think, too, with us, like, we got married so young. And I consider myself, and I don't know if you would agree with this, like
I'm waiting
a
for it
cool
to come
wife.
out.
It was
Cool wife.
some girlfriends and wives who, oh my God, they're going to the club. Like they would literally. Remember, she told me she would because her husband knew, or her boyfriend knew she had a heart murmur, so she said she would literally fake a heart attack every time he act like he going to the club or something. And I just,
Good move.
Yeah, I guess I just looked at it like, man, if this were me, I would want as much freedom as I could have, and I didn't. Like I would say, I would never press
tell
you.
me that. Though.
No.
And now she tells you
when
that.
I'm like, oh,
No,
man,
listen.
went out
Would I
and
ever
did
press you about
everything.
going to clubs,
Not
strip
when,
clubs?
not when I got to the NFL. I would
never-
How
always.
good
I
are the
just-
Cleveland
I get-
strip clubs?
Ask Josh, he knows. He could probably call some girls in here for you too.
You said we weren't going to talk about.
Are they
No, I'm just-
no, I did
Atlanta
not.
quality
I'm
strip
just
clubs in
joking.
Cleveland? What no, I
Some
don't know.
travel, some travel. Yeah.
some
There's
travel.
some pretty good, nice. I don't know now.
Because
don't
the
like no
NBA
more.
All-Star game is coming to Cleveland
The
next
draft
year.
is
So what
coming.
you
The
gonna
draft is
have?
going to be, but the NBA All-Star game is, they
Yeah,
call it
it's
the Black
the-
Spring Break.
So what
Right.
you're going to have is those girls from all those other clubs.
They
They're
come
gonna
in.
come up here and work.
I know. They come in. They got to import. Even in Los Angeles, they got to import.
Oh,
for
I'm
that.
saying my heart hurting. Hold on, Josh, you can't go.
Yeah. So anyway, so was it just we have a regular life and my husband happens to play professional football, or was it how is it to be, for your kids and everything, like the Brown, especially Josh, because he was the best Brown.
Yeah, he was.
Especially for
For what he
no
did.
offense, the team wasn't good.
Yeah.
And he was always like, "Oh, if Josh Cribbs was on another team,
Yeah.
he was great." Everybody knew. Everybody's like, "That's the
guy.
one."
Yep. They weren't prepared for him and what he could do. I think I try to keep our life as normal as possible, but I mean, he's becoming a star and people are knowing his name and everybody's pulling him each and every way. So even like when remember I had a job, I worked, I tried to stay as normal as possible. Just feeling like, I think that was probably my own insecurity, feeling like I had to contribute, in some way, some shape.
She wouldn't stop working.
Yeah,
So I had
like my little paycheck cannot compare to his, but
Right.
You make her feel so guilty. We would lose, and I would have no one to like console me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody got their families and their wives, and I'm like, and you don't even know if we won or lost. And she at work on a Sunday.
I worked at the mall, by the way. I worked at the mall. Yeah,
working at Mac Cosmetics.
Is that true?
Yeah, I worked at
So
Dillard's.
so he was playing in the NFL, and you're at the mall working on a Sunday.
Yeah,
Good
and
for you.
It wasn't every Sunday, but it was.
Still.
But I thought about it too. Like, who says? And we make our own. And that's what, as I'm realizing as we get older, we make our own rules. Who said I have to be there? Like, why do you need that? I don't need you. I don't need you at the mall clapping me when I'm doing makeup face. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
right,
true.
I have to
You're
be
like, it's
there?
my job. Yeah.
Who needs?
That's a really good
consoling?
point.
Yeah, after probably like
Who needs
years,
a hug when they
probably
lose?
year 5 or 6, I started feeling like I don't have to be here. Like, this is what you do. I don't need to make the NFL my life, because for so many years we couldn't go to church. We couldn't do a lot of things because every Sunday was tied up,
Yeah.
And so it came to a point
So
where I
cold.
started
I
reclaiming
need a
my
hug.
energy.
Can we
You
just
know
stop
what?
the session?
Well, I mean, they lost a lot. He needed a hug.
He did
Can
need
we
a hug.
just pause and give
So
out hugs?
fast forward, I ended up quitting my job because he was
Can we
baby.
can we pause? Because I think I need a hug from all the hugs that I didn't
But
receive.
Josh, didn't that make you feel good that she didn't just want to rely on you, and she wanted to earn and contribute?
At the time, no. I'm 21.
Right.
My
We were young.
idea
Yeah.
of it was I make it big. I'm taking care of my family.
Right.
You don't got to work. That's my whole idea of making.
Right.
Like, you ain't got to work. I'm gonna take care of everybody.
Right.
Do your thing. Do whatever. Go sit home and order stuff off the internet. That was what I thought a wife should do when I made it to the NFL, because I worked hard to get there.
And it also meant that she trusted you to provide.
Yes, and she took care of me in college. Like, I didn't work in
I worked
college
at the
for
bank
the
and
most
Red
part.
Lobster. Yeah.
And she was bringing her tips home and her money and giving it to me with no question.
Did she bring the cheddar biscuits home from
Yeah,
Red
I
Lobster?
brought
Yes.
it.
Okay,
Smell
good.
like-
That's
Yes,
Fish and grease and everything.
We were hooked. She smelled like it every day, especially on the weekends.
I did.
I'm like, you smell like Red Lobster.
Yeah.
But she took care of me, so it was my duty, I felt, my honor to return the favor. But she wouldn't want to she didn't ever want to get that job up. I'm like, I need you, babe.
Right.
Come on.
But did
We
you really?
lost.
I think too, Brian. I thought everybody, like, you have all this attention. Why do you need me? Like, I'm over here with the kids. I'm
Just
cool. Like,
ice queen right there.
No, I'm
That's-
not
Right.
cold.
Let
But
alone.
knowing your personality now,
Yeah.
were you always like, I'm going to get my chance to shine?
No.
Or were you like,
I thought it was over for me. I always wanted to be. I mean, even some of the stuff I'm doing now, like, I just, not that I thought it was over for me. I just
was it
didn't think TV
frustrating?
and all
Or
that
were
was-
you just like,
it
I'm a
wasn't-
mom and I'm a wife?
I'm a
and-
mom, I'm a wife, and I think the fact that he had enough money to be able to, I can do other things like own a business or travel the way I want to and invest in people. I just was like, okay, this is my lot in life. This is what it is. And
I knew that to be, difficult for her.
Right.
Because she was the homecoming queen. She was the talkative person, the bright star that really no one got to see because it was all about me.
they were always interested
Right.
in just him.
And you knew it.
Oh, I definitely knew it. Like, man.
So in the home, so during the off seasons, the Browns had a longer off season. Sorry.
You have to get that in there.
I mean,
Lord have mercy.
No playoff
Don't
games for you,
remind me.
baby.
Go
No
ahead.
plans. But was it a challenge then that he's home all the time, or that he had his downtime, and then did you have to? What was the difference between a professional
Yeah,
athlete
Maria.
during the
No.
season or off season?
No, because then we would travel a lot. So it was not, as soon as he would be off for the season, as soon as any NFL player gets off for the off season, you just go travel. You go travel and you come back about March and start doing your training. It was once he stopped playing and we're like, oh man, he's home too much. He's messing up the house. He's not cleaning up. It's like, wait a minute, you got to find something to do, baby.
You're 2-3 years into it. You knew you were going to stick.
Right.
Like you got the longer contract,
Absolutely.
and you're like, I'm going to make this.
Yeah.
Did that give you a sense of relief?
It did, because he was the one that let me know what the NFL stood for. Not for long. You got to average of what back then it was like 2.5 years, and you're done. And so we were always just kind of on pins and needles. And then once he had a contract that was a little bit longer, I'm like, okay, I feel like I can breathe. Maybe we can get a house now, And so
because the first couple, you're a hamstring away, especially when you're an undrafted free agent.
You didn't get no big signing bonus.
No signing bonus.
Right.
You are constantly on the verge, and then that lets you relax a little bit. And then you're like, let me find my own thing.
Never considered finding my own thing at that.
She found her own clothes, shoes, and destination spots, and rings and watches.
I'm just saying, those are things that kind of keep you preoccupied.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about me. Like, it wasn't until I maybe was like 32, 33 where I really started coming back to myself and was like...
So when you guys would go out, you have to go to a lot of charity functions, and you have to make appearances. Were you then like, let me do an interview here?
No,
they must
because Brian, you got to understand, I had the kids, and I was one of those types. I didn't want a housekeeper. I didn't want a nanny because I'm a hard worker.
Right.
So it would be, Josh, you go out. So a lot of people didn't get to see me, because if I didn't have a sitter. Go ahead, babe. You got it. Go ahead. He would do a lot of mingling without me. Really, it would be. We didn't have any family here, and so I didn't feel comfortable just leaving my kids with anyone. So,
but she was always like that. Even when we went on our first vacation, we was supposed to go by ourselves. We went to the Bahamas. That was our first vacation when my first year.
Right,
and we had our daughter. She was younger, and we cut the trip. We cut the trip early because she missed our daughter. I'm like, she with your mom.
When you're,
I'm like,
I don't trust my mama.
Stay the whole time.
When you're a mother and you call and your baby's crying, you're like, I want to get back home.
Is your social circle mostly other people on the team?
No.
Or no, you hung out with regular people.
Then I had my girlfriends on the team and things like that. Now they've all, went their separate ways and they live in different states. So when I ever go to another state that they're in, I go and visit with them. But no, definitely had the girlfriends on the team. And that bond is good because they understand what you're going through. They understand the lifestyle that they can relate to you more if you tell your mom or your aunt or something what happened, But no, definitely had the inner circle of the girls, and the guys just had so many girls coming in and out. It was really hard to stay attached to some because if you knew they weren't the main one, or you knew they were getting cheated on.
So you knew, and did you say stuff, or you decided
I can't say, and so I feel like I'm a fake friend because
other people would though. When we used to have nights where the guys, we would all play cards. Mm-hmm. One night it was my house. I'm not going to put this athlete out there, but he was one of my boys, and he brought a girlfriend,
right?
Like
I thought she was
girlfriend.
A dancer,
this week's girlfriend.
Yeah,
to my bat cave.
The girl of the week, Brian. The girl of the week.
To my bat cave, and this. Any girl just don't supposed to know where the bat cave at.
Right.
So all the wives of our other guys who was playing was looking at her like, man, y'all ain't got it. So I had to take this player to the side and was like, yeah, man, you can't, this ain't a girl, this ain't wifey, so you can't bring her.
Right, because then it makes it seem like you're sanctioning this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and the other wives didn't sign off on her.
Right.
That's how it was. You can't bring a girlfriend around wives.
And not to someone's house. Not to someone's house.
Especially not an official girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't bring someone you're talking to.
Right. Oh,
so it would make it hard. And then Josh ended up, I guess you started fussing at me. He said, you're the wife the guys don't like because I empower the women. I make them feel like, you don't need to take that. You don't deserve that. You need to let him know. He's like, you got to understand, everyone's not
She's starting revolutions on the team.
Brian, he had to pull me to the side. You don't understand. Everyone's not as... And not to say we were solid, we were married, but everybody has issues in their marriage, but everybody's not like we are. So they can't talk to their boyfriend the way that you would talk to a husband.
You gotta tell him what you mean by that.
Well, first of all, what do you mean by that? And give it as like a piece of advice. How do you talk to each other about stuff like that?
Let me tell you what you mean.
Go ahead, baby.
So when she means about solid is that we were married before I got in the NFL.
Right.
She took care of me. I gotta take care of her. A lot of times the wife was acquired. The marriage happened after the money came. Or the girlfriend was after the money came. So
and he never can fully trust if she's with him for the right reasons.
Sometimes, a lot of times, actually, the wife was way gorgeous than the man. If that makes sense.
Like now.
The money reflected. Yes. Yes. So when people look at us, they like, man, Josh, you're good looking, but I had the money first. So everybody didn't have a foundation. That's what she means, solid. And go ahead, Maria.
And so when I'm telling girls, if they telling me something their guy doing, I'm like, what? If you don't let him know, you